there is nothing better than having allies in Hollywood. What I'm talking about is those celebrities who are gonna go the extra mile to expose the woke culture. Let's go and check out celebrities who brutally exposed woke culture.
These are times celebrities shut down wokeness, starting off with A-list actors who stood up to woke Hollywood. In Hollywood, there are very real, very brutal consequences for speaking out.
As soon as my cancellation happened, I had reporters showing up. I had drones looking at my place because it looked out onto the ocean, and there was drones popping up. There was like people in vans, and there was people following me. I was just very exposed, which was very dangerous of Disney to have made the comment they did.
What did they say?
They said, we do not support Gina. We're not going to work with her anymore based off of her, something about cultural, and basically calling me a racist.
62% of Americans say they have political views they're afraid to share.
Yeah, everybody hates it and no one stands up to.
Honestly, I think this is changing. Since Donald Trump became the president of the United States, I feel like this number is going to go lower and lower because people just got balls somehow. Now people are speaking out loud and literally saying what they truly think without the fear of consequences and cancel culture.
Because it's always the safe thing to swallow what you really think and just join the mob.
In this video, you'll see the brave Hollywood A-listers who put their careers on the line to stand up for what they believe, no matter the consequences. Let's kick things off with Chris Pratt, star of Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World. Pratt didn't make any controversial statements. Instead, he faced backlash for what he didn't say or do. In 2020, Pratt became the target of online criticism. Many have accused him of being politically conservative and supporting Donald Trump, even though Pratt has never publicly stated his political views. This all began when Chris Pratt was seen wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" t-shirt featuring a coiled rattlesnake. This is a reference to the Gadsden flag, a Revolutionary War era symbol that rose to prominence as US colonists were looking to declare independence from Great Britain. Yahoo News tried to frame this as a white supremacist symbol in their coverage, but political
Yahoo still exists? Really? People still read Yahoo? Remember Yahoo Ask or Yahoo Answer? Those were hilarious.
Commentator Ben News tried to frame this as a white supremacist symbol in their coverage, but political commentator Ben Shapiro was quick to clap back at Yahoo News, stating this is pure idiocy. Not every symbol of the early republic is a white supremacist symbol, unless you're a moron. These accusations continued after an Instagram post where Chris promoted his new film with a, quote, insensitive joke. These accusations continued after an Instagram post where Chris promoted his new film with a, quote, insensitive joke about the importance of voting, where he wrote in the caption, "With all that's going on in the world, it is more important than ever that you vote." Pratt wrote, "Just ask."
Isn't this the movie where like we had a gay couple or something like that?
Any celebrity. They will tell you every day, several times a day, to vote. But me, I will tell you exactly who to vote for. The upcoming 2020 People's Choice Awards is the most consequential vote in the history of mankind times a million infinity. Vote for #Onward for Family Movie of the Year. The controversy reached a peak when Pratt wasn't a part of a virtual fundraiser for Joe Biden that included many of his Marvel co-stars. This led to him being labeled the worst Chris in Hollywood on social media. Pratt's response to all of this? Silence. Always silence. He chooses not to address the accusations directly, but again and again, he stands up to the immense pressure to conform to Hollywood norms and continue being himself. While Chris Pratt, being Chris Pratt, didn't fight back when he was taking heat for not participating in the Joe Biden fundraiser, his Marvel co-stars came to his defense. Robert Downey Jr. wrote on Instagram, "What a world. The sinless are casting stones at my brother Chris Pratt, a real Christian who lives by principle, who never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude."
Exactly. A Christian. And they immediately go, like, he's a conservative, he's Christian. He is always positive in every movie. So, like, he's such a guy, like a friend guy thing. Like, I don't know how to, he's such a homie, all right? Like, you feel you know him, even though he is acting and he's acting a character. You feel you see Chris behind that character. And you dig it. Like, I don't understand going against someone who is always positive and always nice.
Chris Pratt continues to star in major blockbusters, but his story shows how in Hollywood, even staying silent on political issues can lead to backlash. The next story is about Gina Carano.
Carano remains undefeated.
A former MMA fighter who became an actress in the hit Star Wars show The Mandalorian. Carano was riding high on her newfound fame, but things took a turn in February 2021. She shared a post on social media that compared being a Republican today to being Jewish during the Holocaust.
Nazi Germany didn't start just with people just waking up being Nazis and like demonizing, like throwing Jews into the concentration camps. It didn't start there. It started before that. It started with propaganda. You had to kind of start urging people to make it okay.
And this is true what she's saying. Historically, German kids and German families who were not Nazis, they were literally fed this propaganda that Jews are bad, their own neighbors, that they're the enemies, that they are worthless and stuff like that. Like they fed hatred into them with this propaganda. And that's why when they made these concentration camps and these camps, when they sent Jews there, they would tell their neighbors that they're at a better place to be safe, from others and blah, 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 which was not true. We all know what was true. But they even had commercials showing that the campuses they are living in, the Jews and stuff, like it was so weird. It's such a propaganda. And what she said is completely true. It's right. Like, people were brainwashed. Media was different. You couldn't go to Google and fact check anything. You only could see and hear what the country is giving you.
To demonize your neighbor and to hate people for whatever differences it was. At that time, it was Jewish people.
This post caused an uproar. The woke left called it offensive, claiming it downplayed the suffering of Holocaust victims. Lucasfilm, the company behind Star...
How is that downplaying? How is that downplaying? It's because they want to portray only the Nazis as the most evil. But are we really not going to talk about, because it's media, we're not going to talk about the bad influence of media by the media. The media will not say that. That's why.
Wars quickly fired Carano.
It.
This is despite the star of The Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, doing the exact same thing with a woke leftist take, publicly making a comparison between the Holocaust and the treatment of migrants at the border.
Don't care how you invoke the Holocaust if you happen to be of a different political persuasion.
No.
And I pointed out on Twitter right away, as soon as this broke, that Pedro Pascal, who was your co-star in The Mandalorian, the lead in that show, that Pedro Pascal had put out a Holocaust meme in 2018 in which he not only got the facts wrong, he actually posted a picture from not the American border in 2018 and called it America 2018. He then compared the treatment of migrant children in 2018 to victims of the Holocaust in 1941, which is absolutely absurd on every level.
In a statement, Lucasfilm said Carano's social media posts were abhorrent and unacceptable, but were completely fine with Pedro's posts. Just like that, Carano went from being a rising star to being out of a job. But Carano didn't back down. In interviews after her firing, she exposed Disney's cruel behavior. She said, "A couple weeks ago, Lucasfilm asked an artist that they employ to erase my character and put another character in my place." While many in Hollywood turned their backs on her, Carano found support from others who felt Hollywood had become far too woke. She quickly landed a new movie deal with the Daily Wire, a conservative media company. The Daily Wire is helping make one of my dreams, to develop and produce my own film, come true. I cried out and my prayer was answered. I am sending out a direct message of hope to everyone living in fear of cancellation by the totalitarian mob. I have only just begun using my voice, which is now freer than ever before, and I hope it inspires others to do the same.
I really hope that now is the time for her, and I hope more people like her in Hollywood would actually find opportunities and jobs and movies by companies that will support them and companies that will not go the woke way.
Can't cancel us if we don't let them. Carano's story shows how quickly things can change in Hollywood when an actor goes against popular opinion. But she's not the only one who's faced backlash. The next star, Bill Maher, is a comedian talk show host who is historically known for his liberal views. Maher has been a staple in Hollywood for decades, often criticizing conservatives. But recently, he's found himself at odds with the woke left. In 2021, Maher began using his HBO show Real Time to speak out against what he sees as extreme political correctness in liberal circles.
Mr. Emmanuel Cafferty. He was a San Diego gas and electric worker, but he got fired because someone reported him making a white supremacist hand gesture outside the window of his truck. But he's not a white supremacist, he's Latino. And he wasn't making a hand gesture, he's probably just flicking a booger.
Or like he was holding what is left of a cigarette that he was smoking. I don't know if that is allowed, but in some countries it is allowed to smoke like that. And maybe he was doing that and he doesn't want to admit that he's smoking. But I don't know. Why would just honestly, the guy just has his hands situated like that on a picture and people think that he's not even posing. He just looked to the left, somebody took a picture and that's it.
Is this really who we want to become? A society of phony, clenched asshole avatars, walking on eggshells, always looking over your shoulder about getting ratted out for something that actually has nothing to do with your character or...
Yeah, like, I understand if you want to cancel characters and people who will go out of their way to be assholes, to be racist and whatnot. And they will tell you, I am a racist or something like that. Like, they will tell you these things. But if you have people who accidentally do something without knowing better, and they go and apologize and admit that, no, that's not what they meant, why the argument doesn't stop there? Why do people still continue to try to cancel these people when they clearly have told you publicly that, no, that was not what they wanted to do, and they apologized, and we just move on? They even apologized for something they didn't even mean. Like, that's how humble they are.
Morals?
Maher's critiques didn't stop there. He took on topics like cancel culture, identity politics, and what he saw as the left's obsession with race. His stance surprised many and drew criticism from his usual allies. Some accused him of pandering to the right or being out of touch. But Maher has stood his ground. In an interview with Vanity Fair, he said, "Let's get this straight. It's not me who's changed, it's the left. A large contingent has gone mental, and I'm willing to call them out." Unlike the previous examples, Maher's career hasn't suffered from his outspokenness. His show continues to air on HBO, and he remains a popular figure in the media. Maher's story shows that even within Hollywood's liberal circles, there's pushback against extreme woke culture. It also demonstrates that established figures might have more leeway to speak their minds. The next star is Matthew McConaughey, Oscar-winning actor and self-proclaimed centrist. In recent years, McConaughey has used his platform to challenge what he sees as extreme political views on both sides, including in Hollywood. In 2020, McConaughey made waves when he criticized what he called the illiberal left during an appearance on Russell Brand's podcast.
There is a lot on that illiberal left that absolutely condescend, patronize, and are arrogant toward that other 50%.
This statement sparked widespread debate, with some praising McConaughey for his honesty and others accusing him of misunderstanding progressive politics. McConaughey's outspokenness led to speculation that he might run for governor of Texas. While he ultimately decided against it, his political comments continued to make headlines. In 2022, McConaughey gave a passionate speech at the White House.
We need to restore our family values. We need to restore our American values.
McConaughey's career and popularity seem unaffected by his political statements. He continues to star in major films and remains a beloved figure in Hollywood. McConaughey's story shows how a well-established star can use their platform to challenge political narratives, even within Hollywood, without facing significant backlash.
Exactly. Like, if you're an actor, go and act. Choose the roles that represent you the most. Choose the roles that you think will inspire or impact people around the world. And that's what he does. I feel like even his latest roles in his movies are actually an extension of who he is and what he believes in. Not everything, like, of course, sometimes he's the villain, bad guy, but you know what I mean. Like, the movies that he has been choosing to act in lately, they're not mainstream as much. You know, they're not something that we talk about a lot. They have a specific niche.
Now for an unexpected ally in the fight against Hollywood's woke culture, Dave Chappelle, a comedian known for his edgy and often controversial humor. Chappelle has become an unlikely figure in the debate over free speech and political correctness in entertainment. In 2021, Chappelle found himself at the center of a major controversy with the release of his Netflix special, The Closer. The backlash was immediate and intense.
I am not saying that to say that trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those pussies that they got, you know what I mean?
We saw this too, yeah.
I'm not saying it's not pussy, but that's like beyond pussy or impossible pussy. You know what I mean? It tastes like pussy, but that's not quite what it is. It's not blood, that's beet juice.
LGBTQ plus groups and some Netflix employees called for the special to be removed from the platform.
Netflix employees walking out of the company's Hollywood office after weeks of internal backlash.
If your satire is punching down, you are being a bully.
But Chappelle didn't back down. Instead, he doubled down on his right to make jokes about any topic.
Especially in stand-up comedy, there should not be something like bullying, all right? That's what it meant to do. It literally humors you by roasting you, like making you feel so bad about your own existence that it is funny. So anybody who gets offended, that's not your place, all right? But do not interfere with that. Leave it as a niche somewhere else for someone else who does enjoy it, but don't try to change it. Because once you try to change that, it's going to become as boring as all the comedy movies we see today.
Said that you want a safe working environment at Netflix. Well, it seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore. Despite the controversy, Netflix stood by Chappelle, refusing to remove the special. This decision was met with both praise and criticism. Despite the controversy, Chappelle's career has not suffered. He continues to perform sold-out shows and work with major platforms like Netflix. While Chappelle used his comedy to change Hollywood norms, the next star worked behind the scenes to influence the industry in a more direct way. Clint Eastwood, actor, director, and producer with a career spanning over 6 decades. Eastwood has long been known for his libertarian-leaning political views, which often put him at odds with Hollywood's predominantly liberal culture. Unlike many in Hollywood, Eastwood has been open about his conservative-leaning views. He famously spoke at the 2012 Republican National Convention, addressing an empty chair meant to represent President Obama.
You're absolutely crazy. You're getting as bad as Biden.
This unconventional speech drew both ridicule and praise, but it didn't deter Eastwood from expressing his views through his work. Eastwood has used his position as a director and producer to tell stories that often challenge Hollywood's prevailing narratives. His 2014 film American Sniper was particularly controversial. The film, which told the story of Navy SEAL Chris Pratt, was criticized for glorifying war and promoting anti-Muslim sentiment. Others
It shouldn't have.
praised it for its portrayal of veteran struggles. Despite the controversy, or perhaps because of it, American Sniper was a massive box office success.
American Sniper literally portrays that not all Arabs are terrorists. They are civilians. They have families, they have kids, just like you do. And these people, they are just having a bad hand and living at a place that they just belong there. That's what their destiny is, all right? It's just that you were born somewhere else and born something else and born in a different religion, doesn't make you a better person. And that's what American Sniper, in a way, was also portrayed.
And was nominated for 6 Academy Awards. Eastwood's influence in Hollywood demonstrates how a powerful figure can shape narratives from behind the scenes. His ability to get films that align with his worldview shows another way of challenging Hollywood's status quo. At 93, Eastwood continues to direct films that often touch on controversial themes, proving that his voice in Hollywood remains as strong as ever. The next star is Ricky Gervais, British comedian and creator of The Office. Gervais has made a name for himself by pushing boundaries and refusing to bow to political correctness, especially when hosting the Golden Globe Awards.
Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God.
Gervais has hosted the Golden Globe Awards 5 times, each time causing controversy with his jokes made at the expense of Hollywood's elite. 2020 was a particularly spicy year for Gervais, where he used his opening monologue to criticize Hollywood's hypocrisy and virtue signaling.
You probably know me as the creator of The Office. No, you don't, do you?
You think Steve Carell did it all? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell?
He's amazing as the bumbling office manager.
Where does he get his ideas from?
Let's pay him hundreds of millions of dollars and put him in every movie. If you can't be bothered to go to the cinema to see Steve in action, then just watch him every Thursday here on NBC.
Gervais touched on sensitive topics and called out Hollywood's relationship with powerful corporations. His comments about political speeches by actors accepting their award at the Golden Globes resonated with both the live audience and viewers at home. Gervais's approach to comedy has often put him at odds with what he sees as an overly sensitive culture. He's been a vocal critic of cancel culture and defends his right to make jokes jokes about any topic. Gervais's career doesn't seem to have suffered from his outspokenness. He continues to create successful shows and stand-up specials. With his willingness to say the quiet part out loud year after year, Gervais's story shows how humor can be a powerful tool in challenging Hollywood's norms. The final story brings us to a current and ongoing controversy. Meet Gina Carano. Again, this journey started with Carano's firing from The Mandalorian, but her story didn't end there. In fact, it's still unfolding as we speak. In February 2024, Carano filed a lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm, alleging wrongful termination and discrimination.
Gina Carano is suing Disney and Lucasfilm over her being fired from The Mandalorian in 2021. Carano filed a complaint on Tuesday in California federal court for discrimination and wrongful termination and alleges she was fired for voicing right-wing opinions on social media.
This lawsuit, backed by Elon Musk and X Corp, has reignited the debate about free speech and political beliefs in Hollywood. Carano's lawsuit alleges that she was subjected to a bullying campaign and that male co-stars who made similar social media posts were not punished. The outcome of this lawsuit could have far-reaching implications for how Hollywood deals with actors' social media presence and political views. If Gina Carano wins this trial, the Hollywood elite will no longer be able to get away with firing actors based on their political beliefs.
You know what? I feel like it is very difficult for her to win this, unfortunately, in my opinion at least, because I don't know if they're going to be stating and admitting that the reason they fired her is exactly what she is saying. They could come up with multiple reasons, and she did sign an agreement, and maybe in that agreement itself, they are going to use some of the clause that allows them to fire her, and maybe they're going to stick with that and try to find any proof or any fact. Like, they know their way. Companies, if they want to fire you, they know their ways, and you cannot really outstay your welcome and tell them not to fire you. You know, like, there is always a way for them. Like, they have the rights to fire you. But, it is going to be hard for her to win this, but maybe easier now with Donald Trump being the president. But I definitely do wish for her to win because that was not fair what they have done to her at all. And equality is a thing, and it should be, even in this situation. So yeah, let's hope it happens. Also, guys, let's end here. And if you want part 2 of this video, make sure to like the video and comment down below. See you.